Hello and welcome back to Small Room Audio. It's the second in our Versus series, and today you're in for a treat because it's the Dynaudio Special 40 speakers versus the Evoke 20, their stablemates. Are these two speakers going to be better than one another, very similar, or very different? We're going to find out. Just a little side note, my wife last time out when we did a Versus series got a bit too into the combat element, but I think she's calmed down a bit now. Yeah! Okay, let's do this. The Dynaudio showdown is on. What inspired this one? Well, I went to a Richer Sounds hi-fi shop, which is quite common in the UK, and the bloke behind the counter told me, these Evoke 20 are just as good as the Dynaudio Special 40. In fact, I think that they are better because they don't have any of the flary, nice birch red finish. They've spent all the money on the speaker. Now, I was intrigued by this lovely man and thought, well, all right, I need to find out for myself. Is it as good as something which is £700 more expensive or not? Let's find out. Let's have a look at them both. Out the gate, it's clear that the build quality for both of these speakers is very, very high. They're beautifully finished, excellent all round, and the Evoke 20 is probably the less exuberant of the two, but, you know, they do look very nice, even if they do look slightly stereotypical for a stand mount speaker. The Special 40 has an incredible red birch finish, which is frankly gorgeous to look at. In terms of how inert the box is, well, the Evokes actually take this. If you do the knuckle wrap test, they don't sound like they're vibrating in any way, whereas the Special 40 do a little bit more, but they're still pretty good. The Evoke 20 retails at £1,800 a pair, whilst the Special 40 is £2,500 a pair, so a decent £700 price jump between the two. Sensitivity is 86 dB for both speakers, and that's my first observation. If you want to get the best from them, you need a bit of power to wake them up. I tried the 20-watt Schitt Aegir with them, and things were a bit too polite. Power isn't just about volume, it's about dynamics, and these were pretty flat with the Aegir, especially with the Evoke 20s. You do need a good thumper power driving them, therefore I did most of my listening with the line magnetic 508IA tube amp, which is 48 watts, and the Mytek Brooklyn Amplifier Plus, which is 300 watts. Right, so how do they sound? And is one significantly better than the other? Both of these speakers sound great. They are refined and classy, but they get to their greatness in different ways. The Evoke 20 is more forgiving of poor recordings, being a smooth operator from top to bottom. In fact, that smoothness was a much better match for the exacting, detailed sound from the Mytek amplifier than it was for the more romantic tube amplifier. So keep in mind, as always, system matching is very important. Having all your equipment pumping out very smooth sound is like having too many sugars in a cup of tea. It can be a bit sickly. The Special 40, on the other hand, is a higher resolution speaker. It extracts more detail, separates instruments more clearly, and provides some of the best organisation I have ever heard from a stand mount speaker. When music gets complicated, the Special 40 rolls up its sleeves and says, bring it on! Lesser speakers tend to smudge sound together to deal with the complex passages. Poor speakers make that smudginess sound harsh and unpleasant, a wall of noise, whilst good speakers make it sound natural and welcoming. And the Evoke 20, for example, are a lovely smudger. They get bits and they're just going to move them together and it sounds really nice. The Special 40s don't smudge at all. They give you everything at once and do so with great authority. Soundstage is nice on both speakers, and it's a bit wider on the Special 40s. Both give a reasonable sense of depth. The Special 40s have incredibly good right to left imaging, but the Evokes are no slouch either. Neither will disappoint if you decide to purchase them. They don't give the same sense of light airiness that you might get from something like the Bowers & Wilkins 705S2, but there's more than enough to keep most audiophiles entertained. Let's go down from the highs to the lows. The highs aren't really rolled off in the Evoke 20, but they're sympathetic. The Special 40 is less so, and I wouldn't advise pointing them at your ears and playing compressed music because they can get a little bit bright. The price you pay for the excellent resolution, I'd say. The mids are much clearer on the Special 40s, but they're not forward, whilst the Evoke has a thicker mid-range, which is almost always pleasant to listen to. The lows on the Evoke are good, deep and natural, adding both heft and scale to proceedings. But the Special 40, well, they've got almighty bass credentials, taking things up quite a few notches. The bass is almost like that of a small floor stander. It's not the fastest, neither is it the slowest, but it is mega. Really is very impressive. Across both speakers, the driver integration is superb, really blending beautifully. Not all speakers do this well. I remember owning the Bucar S300, which were very good speakers, but they weren't the best at integrating both the treble, the mid-range and the bass. And I would describe the Evoke 20 as sounding kind of like an evolved version of the Bucar S300, a better version if you like, which has better resolution. And I definitely recommend the Evoke 20 as where you should go next if you like those speakers. Anyway, I digress. Dynaudio really do know how to make a good speaker, and both of these excel at their price points. Objectively, the Special 40 is the better of the two, although I can definitely see people falling in love with the Evoke 20 and even preferring it if they want a more forgiving, relaxing sound signature. It's true that they aren't as immediately exciting or as showy as the Special 40, but you can listen to them for hours and forget your troubles, simply enjoying music without a care in the world. The Special 40 on the other hand, well, yeah, they are indeed special. I've heard a lot of speakers around this price point, but not all of them are such good all-rounders. For 90% of the people watching this video, I think this could even be your endgame material speaker. They look great, they sound great, they have no really big weaknesses, and Dynaudio have knocked it out of the park with these speakers. And for this video in the Versus series, they do officially take the win. Anyway, if you've liked this video and you'd like to see some more, then please do like and subscribe as it helps us out quite a lot. And thank you very much for watching, and we'll see you back here very soon.